Hi friends, hello, good morning. Welcome to our channel, The Voice of Nurse. Today we are going to discuss a continuous topic from the previous class. The subject name is Nursing Research and Education, otherwise Nursing Research and Statistics. In today's class, we are going to discuss nursing research point of view part 2. Today's class, we are going to discuss from the question number 31 to further questions. In part 1, we already discussed in previous class part 1 about nursing research, question number 1 to 30 questions. These are all questions, very important questions and FAQs, frequently asked questions in previous year question papers. Last class we finished part 1. In part 1 we discussed 30 questions. Today's class we are going to discuss from the 31 question to 60. 30 questions we are going to discuss in today's class. Before moving on to topic, a small request friends, anybody here new to this channel, please subscribe my channel, click on the bell icon for further notification, and please share your opinion in comment section. Please share your opinion comment section. Not only opinions, you can ask any question in comment section also. While watching the video, it is useful to anyone, please give a like and give a comment. Share the video to your friends. Each and every question very important. That's why I am requesting, please share the video to your friends. Anybody not known about this channel, please share the video to your friends. Give a like and click on the bell icon for further notification. Let's move on to today's topic, nursing research and education. Today's class we are going to discuss part 2. Let's move on to topic discussion. Question number 31. Policy is defined as. What is policy? We will see here options first. Option A, administrative action. Option B, rules. Option C, principles. Option D, expression. Here what is meant by policy? Policy is a law, regulation, procedure, administrative action, incentive or voluntary practice of governments and the other institutions. Policy is a set of ideas or a plan of what to do in particular situations that has been agreed to officially by a group of people, a business organization, a government or political party. This is the meaning for the policy. Here what is policy definition? Definition of policy is a set of rules or guidelines for your organization and employees to follow in order to achieve specific goals. Good policy is not intended to limited to the optimum policies, practices, methods or acts to the exclusion of all others, but rather to include a spectrum of possible but responsible policies, practices, methods or act employed among the component owners of comparable similarly situated companies operating in the organization. Policy is a set of ideas or plan what to do particular situation that has been agreed officially by a group of a people and a business organization. So policy is a law, regulation, procedure, administrative action. So here in these options, option A is the correct answer. Policy is defined as administrative action. Option A is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 32. What is the heart of administrative management? What is the heart of administrative management? Means in the administrative management main part which of the following? We will see here options. Option A, budgeting. Option B, planning. Option C, organization. Option D, delegation. Here in this question, administrative management is there. What is mean by administrative management? We have to know, then we will get an answer. Here, administrative management is the process of managing information through people. This usually involves performing the storage and distribution of information to those within the organization. A large number of roles within business require some element of administrative management. Priority basis, we have to take a option here. In administrative management, the heart, The heart of administrative management is budgeting. Budgeting is the heart of administrative management. It serves as a powerful tool of the coordination and act as a device to eliminate the duplication and wastage. It is done by justification of estimates, supervision of the use of appropriated funds, and regulating expenditures. One more question here in exam we will get like this: who has called direction as the heart of administration? Marshall E. DeMock has said that the heart of administration is the directing function which involves determining the course of giving orders to instructions, providing dynamic leadership. So, heart of administrative management is budgeting, said by Marshall E. DeMock. Budgeting is the heart of administrative management. It serves as a powerful tool of coordination and negatively an effective device of eliminating errors. So here in these options, option A is the correct answer. Budgeting is the heart of administrative management. Next we will move on to question number 33. Board committee aimed at having health center to service a population of 10,000 to 20,000 with how many bedded hospital? According to board committee aimed having health center to service a population 10,000 to 20,000 with how many bedded hospital? We will see here options. Option A 50, option B 75, option C 60, option D. Board committee is also known as Health Survey and Development Committee. The concept of primary health care was recommended by the board committee. This committee was set up in the 1943 with Sir Joseph Bohr as its chairman. It also known by the name Health Survey and Development Committee. It made comprehensive recommendations for the remodeling of health services in India. A long terms also called the 3 million plan of setting up primary health units with 75 bedded hospitals for each 10,000 to 20,000 population. So here board committee aimed at having health center to service a population of 10,000 to 20,000 with 75 bedded hospital. So here in these options, option B is the correct answer. The main aim of this committee was to survey the existing position regarding the health conditions and health organization in the country and to make recommendations for future development in order to improve the public health system in India. So here in these options, option B is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 34. Comparative studies. Comparative studies. We will see here options directly. Option A, studies of more than one group. Option B, studies of a particular group. Option C, studies of more than one group so as to compare and contrast data. Option D, none of the above. What is meant by comparative studies? Comparative studies are investigations to analyze and evaluate with quantitative and qualitative methods a phenomenon or facts among different areas, subjects and or objects to detect similarities and differences. There are several methods of doing comparative analysis and Tilly in 1984 distinguishes 4 types of comparative analysis, namely individualizing, universalizing, variation finding and encompassing. These are all the 4 different methods of comparative analysis. Comparative research or comparative studies, simply put, in the act of comparing 2 or more things with a view to discovering something about one or all of the things being compared. 2 main categories of studies are present in the comparative studies: observational and experimental. Observational studies involve collecting and reviewing data non-invasive way. Experimental studies varied widely but always involved the researchers designing a study with controlled variables, interventions, and intentional data points. Here, comparative studies means option C is the correct answer. A comparative study or comparative research or comparative analysis is defined as the technique used to analyze and compare two or more objects or ideas or compare two different people. So here in this option C is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 35. One of the following is not a tool used for supervision. Here in this following option, which one is not used to tool for supervision? We will see here option A observation, option B conference, option C reports, option D listening. What are the techniques of supervision? We will see now. The instructional supervision techniques discussed include classroom observation, teacher visitation, teacher demonstration workshops, micro teaching, watching videos, YouTube, and how to teach well, guided practice and research. These all things comes under the techniques of supervision. Here we have to know tools of supervision first. We will see tools used for supervision: impaired performance, work problem checklist, handling conflict, creative problem solving, design thinking, making meeting meaningful, meeting and business meeting equivalent roles. And also we are having three types of supervision: administrative, clinical, and supportive supervision. Administrative supervision, clinical supervision, and supportive supervision. Clinical supervision also known as educational supervision. Here the most basic function of administrative supervision is to ensure that work is performed. Most social workers receive administrative supervision at their agencies. Tools of supervision include science practices, continuum supervision, observation, post observation conferences, and reports, sometimes reports. Here option D, except here one of the following is not tool used for supervision. Here option D, listening is a key to knowledge and understanding. Which item listed below will be not aid effective listening? Anticipate what will be said next. So here in this option D is not a tool used for supervision. Next we will move on to question number 36. When a leader is perceived as acceptable to all is called as. Here leader is perceived as acceptable to all. This is known as. We will see here options. Option A coercive leader, option B rational leader, option C charismatic leader, option D natural leader. What is meant by perceived acceptable? Perceived as acceptable. The most common definition of leadership involves motivating others toward the achievement of a specific goal and leading organizational changes is called as perceived acceptable. Option A is the correct answer. When a leader is perceived as acceptable to all is called as cursive leader. What is meant by cursive leader? Cursive leader is also called as autocratic leadership. It is a very direct form of leadership built on instructing employees what to do and how to do, all while expecting strict compliance. Cursive or autocratic leadership is an authoritarian leadership style that leaves little room for error and demands result. For example, for the cursive leadership, here example for the cursive power in use: terminating an employee for non-compliance, just like a school may expel a student for bad behavior. And second example for the cursive leadership is written warnings to Marsteller records. These all things comes under the example for the cursive leadership. So here the leader is perceived as acceptable to all is known as cursive leadership. Cursive leadership or autocratic leadership. So here in this option A is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 37. Bureaucratic theory of organization mainly focuses on. Here, bureaucratic theory of organization mainly focused on which of the following? We will see here options. Option A, power and control. Option B, coordination. Option C, staffing. Option D, retirement. What is meant by bureaucratic theory? The bureaucratic theory explains the setup, operation and management of organization as formal, rational, well organized hierarchical systems. Bureaucracy is specific form of organization defined by complexity, division of labor, permanence and professional management. The bureaucratic management is a management technique which uses a system of rules and procedures to organize and control the work of an organization. The type of managerial control in which our organization structure provides a clear detailed instructions on how tasks are carried out. The main characteristics of bureaucracy is have four key characteristics. Those are a clear hierarchy, specialization, division of labor and set of formal rules or standard operating procedures. Max Weber theory of bureaucracy proposes that all business tasks must be divided among the employees. The bureaucratic theory is a way of understanding organization as systems that are primarily characterized by hierarchical chain of command and control. So here in this option A is the correct answer. Actually command and control. Here in this option we are having power and control is there. So here option A is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 38. Mukherjee Committee was developed in the year. The Mukherjee Committee was developed by which year? We will see here options. Option A 1965, option B 1960, option C 1955, option D 1945. In the December 1965, the Central Council of Health Government of India established a committee with B. Mukherjee, the Union Health Secretary at the time, as its chairperson. The Mukherjee Committee report on basic health services was published in the year of 1968. On December 31st, 1965, the Government of India Central Council of Health established a committee with B. Mukherjee. This committee, popularly known as the Mukherjee Committee, while recommending the strengthening of administrative setup at different levels from the primary health center up to the state headquarters, also recommended some extent of delinking of malaria maintenance activities from the family planning in order that a long-term program also known as 3 million plan also. Mukherjee Committee was developed in the year of 1965, published in the year of 1968. So here developed in the year means option A 1965 is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 39. Touching a patient or holding a patient without consent is called as. If we are touching a client or holding the patient without consent of the patient is known as. We will see here options. Option A battery, option B assault, option C defamation, option D malpractice. A traditional definition of touching a patient or holding a patient without any consent is called as battery. Directly I am saying here easy question only. Touching a patient or holding the patient without consent is called as battery. It is a act that directly and either intentionally causes this physical contact with another person without that person consent is battery. Informed consent, patient consent. What is the patient consent means? Informed consent is the process in which a healthcare provider educates a patient about the risk, benefits and alternatives of a given procedure or interventions and treatment. The patient must be competent to make a voluntary decision about whether undergo procedure or intervention and any for the further treatment patient have to give a. I think somebody is having doubt about option A and B. I will explain here. Battery means battery being the unlawful application of physical force to another. Assault means being an attempt to commit battery or an act that causes another reasonably to fear an imminent battery. Here, what is meant by battery? Clearly, I will explain. The legal term for harmful or offensive touching without permission is battery, is called as battery. So here in this option A is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 40. Dangerous Drugs Act was formulated in the year. The Dangerous Drugs Act was formulated which year? We will see here options. Option A 1930, option B 1970, option C 1980, option D 1950. Act confirmed prohibitions on opium smoking and established a list of dangerous drugs which included cannabis. They could be imported and manufactured only under license and could be purchased only from a doctor or chemist and with the medical prescription. The Dangerous Drug Act was started in the year of 1927. This act was formulated in the year of 1930. The Dangerous Drugs Act was formulated in the year of 1930. The silent features of Dangerous Drug Act 1930 was no one shall manufacture any manufactured drug other than prepared opium, save in accordance with rules made under this subsection and with the conditions of any license for that purpose which the may be required to obtain under those rules. The Act established that medical practitioners were allowed to prescribe morphine, cocaine, and heroin. The Act set the agenda for further drug legislation and Dangerous Drug Act 1930 an act to make further and better provision for regulating and controlling the importation and exportation. So here the Dangerous Drugs Act was formulated in the year of 1930. Option A is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 41. Truth telling is termed as. Truth telling is known as. Otherwise, truth telling is termed as. We will see here options. Option A, beneficence. Option B, judgment. Option C, veracity. Option D, justice. Truth telling or honesty is seen as a basic moral principle, rule, or value. Withholding information or otherwise deceiving the patient would seem to at least disrespect patient autonomy and potentially harm the patient. Truth telling. The meaning of truth telling: telling the facts openly, honestly, and unambiguously. Clinicians should speak truthfully to their patient unless there are acceptable justifications not to do so that respect the patient. This is the truth telling. Truth telling is termed as veracity. Veracity is also known as truth telling. The principles of veracity requires that healthcare providers be honest in their interactions with patients. The act of veracity, the principle of telling the truth, and is related to the principle of autonomy. Veracity is the basis of trust in the doctor and patient relationship. The example for the truth telling, example for the veracity, truth telling or veracity is the doctor and patient relationship. So here in these options, truth telling is termed as veracity. Option C is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 24. What does TNAI stands for? What is full form of TNAI? We already discussed mock test related to the MHSRB. Previous last class we discussed related to the TNAI. Shortly we will discuss here. TNAI means Trained Nurses Association of India is National Organization of Nurse Professionals at different levels. It was established in the year of 1908 and was initially known as Association of Nursing Superintendents. Headquarters of TNAI is situated at New Delhi. TNAI has established Central Institute of Nursing and Research Center and Daycare Center for Elderly at Greater Noida, inaugurated by the The former president of India. Here in these options, what does TNAI stands for? Means here option D, Trained Nurses Association of India. Option D is the correct answer. Here anybody want detailed explanation about TNAI? Please check it once. MHSRB mock test last classes. No need of detailed explanation here. Next we will move on to question number 43. Keeping one's promise or commitment is called. Keeping one's promise or commitment is called as. We will see here options. Option A, beneficence. Option B, fidelity. Option C, justice. Option D, veracity. The word related to keep promise such as accomplish, appease, as uses, assure, comply with, and convenience. The commitment is called as a pledge or promise or obligation. We have made a commitment to pay our bills on the time. Dedication, allegiance, they have sincere commitment to religion. In this option B, fidelity is the correct answer. Keeping one's promise or commitment is called as fidelity. The principle underlining the idea that one has a duty, other things being equal, to keep a commitment once it is made, sometimes called as principle of fidelity. Meaning of fidelity means faithfulness to person, belief, demonstrated by continuing loyalty and support. Fidelity means exactly equality or state of being faithful or loyal, especially loyalty to one's spouse in refraining from adultery, sometimes in submitting to a spouse responsible sexual desires. These all things related to the fidelity. Fidelity is the quality of being faithful or loyal. The ethical principle of fidelity means to be faithful and loyal. For example, for the fidelity, a nurse who told their patient they were coming back in 30 minutes to check on their pain would either come back or delegate somebody else to come back if they got tied up. So here the nurse have to told to client, I will come back within 30 minutes and I will check your pain levels. So this is the commitment. So here in this option B, fidelity is the correct answer. Keeping one's promise or commitment is called as fidelity. Next we will move on to question number 44. Written oral agreement between two people is called as. Written oral agreement between the two people is called as. We will see here option A, agreement. Option B, contract. Option C, lawsuit. Option D, all of the above. A verbal contract is a valid contract bearing some expectations such as agreements involving property or guarantees. A verbal contract is an contract that made verbally or orally and also written in the form. Generally, contract forms when one person makes an offer and another person accepts it by communicating their assent or performing after terms. These peoples are called as contracting parties and they can be individuals, a group of people, or a company. A contract is formed when there is a meeting of minds, meaning the parties have agreed on what each supposed to do respect the contract. Verbal agreements are made by serious discussion between the parties, whether verbal exchange was in person, telephone, or mail. Agreement is a promise or agreement between two or more parties to do, not to do something. It is usually formal and sometimes unwritten form. Some example agreements include letter of intent or confidentiality agreement that precedes commercial discussions. Here, written or oral agreement between two people is called as contract. Contract is an agreement between two or more parties. A legally binding contract is voluntary agreement reached between the parties that is enforceable in law. So here in these option B is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 45. PERT stands for. What is meant by PERT? We will see here options. First, option A, program evaluation and review technique. Option B, program experiment and relation technique. Option C, program evaluation and rotation technique. Option D, none of the above. The PERT method is used to examine the task in a schedule and determine a critical path method variation. CPM, critical path method variation, is called as CPM. It is analyzes the time required to complete each task and its associated defenses and determine to the minimum time to complete the project. PERT stands for Program Evaluation Review Technique. Program Evaluation and Review Technique, a methodology developed by the US Navy in the year of 1950s to manage the Polaris submarine missile program. A similar methodology, the critical path method CPM, was developed for project management in private sector at about same time. PERT means program or project. Listen clearly, program evaluation and review technique, and also project evaluation and review technique also will come. So here option A is the correct answer. PERT stands for program evaluation and review technique. Next we will move on to question number 46. Prepared list of items pertinent to an object or a particular task in yes or no manner, or prepared list of items, preparing list of items pertinent to objects or a particular task is yes or no manner is known as. We will see here options. Option A, writing scale. Option B, questionnaire. Option C, checklist. Option D, none of the above. List of items or names or tasks to be checked or consulted. This is type of list, listing and database containing in order to arrange the items is named as topics. This is called as list, checklist. So here checklist, what is use of checklist? A checklist is sample to do list that the person responsible has run through before delivering work. It is serves both as way to keep track of what needs to be done as well as ensures that the work completion quality is according to the requirements. The help checklist help ensure consistency and competence in carrying out of a task. The basic example for the checklist is to do list and do a work. A more advanced checklist would be schedule, which lays task to be done according to time of day or other factors. So here in this option C is the correct answer, checklist. A list of items as names or tasks for comparison, verification or other checking purposes. These all things objects, these all things comes under the checklist. Prepared list of items are pertinent object or an particular task yes or no manner is called as checklist. So here option C is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 47. POSTCARB, postcard in the word framed by. Here what is meant by postcard? Postcard framed by whom? We will see clearly in detail about postcard here once again. We will see first before that options. Option A, Frederick Winslow. Option B, Luther Gulick. Option C, Henry File. Option D, Tyler. All of you know about this postcard. I think I will clearly mention here once again. Postcard. P for planning, O for organizing, S for staffing, D for directing, C for coordinating, R for reporting and budgeting. Clearly, planning, organizing, staffing, directing, coordinating, reporting and budgeting. It was created in the year of 1937 by members of President Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. Luther Gulick and Lyndall Urwick. The postcard is an acronym widely used in the field of management and public administration that reflects the classic view of organizational theory. Postcard was first coined paper on administrative management that was written for the Brown Law Committee by Luther Gulick and Lyndon Urwick. Here Lyndon Urwick not there in this option, but Luther Gulick was there. Here Postcard is the word framed by the Luther Gulick. Option B is the correct answer here. Next we will move on to question number 48. Beta error means. What is meant by beta error? We will see here options. Option A type 1 error, option B type 2 error, option C type 3 error, option D none of the above. Probability of making a type 2 error is called as beta error. The quantity is called as power. The probability of observing an effect in the sample of specified effect size or greater existing in the population. The beta type 1 error probability of making a type 1 error is the significance level or alpha, while the probability of making a type 2 error is beta. Type 1 error is alpha error, type 2 error is beta error. These risks can be minimized through the careful planning in the study design. Careful planning in the study design can avoid the errors. As a consequence of sampling errors, statistical significance tests sometimes hide erroneous outcomes. Especially two errors may be occur in hypothesis test. Alpha error occurs when the null hypothesis is erroneously rejected, and beta error occurs when the null hypothesis is wrongly retained. Here type 2 error is also called as beta error or second kind of error. Confirms an idea that should have been rejected, such as for instance claiming that two observants are the same despite them being different. Here the type 2 error, also known as an error of second kind or beta error, confirms an idea that should have been rejected, such as instance claiming. Here in this options, option B type 2 error is beta error. So beta error means here option B type 2 error is the correct answer. Next we'll move on to question number 49. Field theory of human behavior was proposed by. Field theory of human behavior is proposed by. We will see here options. Option A Elton Mayo, option B Kurt Lewin, C Chris Argyris, option D Rensis Likert. What is meant by field theory of human behavior? Field theory holds that behavior must be derived from a totality of coexisting facts. These coexisting facts make up a dynamic field, which means that the state of any part of field depends on every other part of it. Father of field theory was Lewin Kurt. September 9, 1890 to February 1, 1947 was a revolutionary figure in the field of experimental psychology, a mentor to many and innovative theoretician. He developed topological psychology and field theory, but is most remembered as the father of social psychology. Field theory in psychology, conceptual model of human behavior developed by the German-American psychologist Kurt Lewin. Lewin emphasized the study of behavior as a function of the total physical and social situation. Lewin's field theory proposed that behavior is the result of individual and the environment. Here, field theory of human behavior was proposed by Kurt Lewin. Here option B is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 50. Assignment of one or two patients in a specified period of time to a nurse is called as. Here assignment of one or two patients in a specified particular period of time is to a nurse is called as. We will see here options. Option A case method, option B functional method, option C primary nursing, option D directing. What is mean by assignment here? We will see related to the assignment. Assignment refers to a written delegation of duties to care for a group of patients by trained personnel assigned to the unit. to delegate the works to be done to the nursing personnel. There are 4 nursing work methods identified: functional nursing, individual, team nursing, and primary nursing. Assignment methods are consist of 5 functional methods: team method, primary method, case method, and primary level nursing method. These all are things comes under the assignment methods. Here in this question, assignment of 1 or 2 patients in specified period of time to the nurse is called as case method or case study. In this method, nurses assume total responsibility for meeting all the needs of assigned patient during their time on duty. The premise of the case method is that one nurse provides total care to one patient during her entire work period of one shift. Types of assignments like business reports, case study assignments, class presentations, essays, lab reports, research papers, stimulation. These all things comes under the assignment types. Case method, also called as case study method, the teaching or educating of a subject or issue through the analysis and discussion of actual cases, as in business education. Here, the participatory discussion based way of learning where students gain skills in critical thinking, communication, and group dynamics. These all things comes under the case method. So here in this option A is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 51. Formulative study is also known as. Formulative study is also known as. We will see here options. Option A, experimental. Option B, descriptive. Option C, explorative. Option D, analytical. When the research aims to gain familiarity with a phenomenon or to acquire new insight into order to formulate a more precise problem or to develop a hypothesis is exploratory study, also known as formulative research. Here we are having 3 types of exploratory research. Some of the more popular methods of exploratory research in design includes literature searches, depth interviews, focus groups, and case analysis. Explorative research or exploratory research is research conducted to investigate a problem that is not clearly defined, has been under investigated, or otherwise poorly understood. The example for the exploratory or formulative research studies like study into the implication of COVID-19 pandemic into the global economy is exploratory research. Exploratory studies tend toward loose structures with the objective of discovering future research tasks. The immediate purpose is usually to develop hypotheses or questions for future research. The formal study begins where the exploration leaves off with a hypothesis or research question. When research aims to gain familiarity with a phenomenon or acquire new insight in order to formulate more precise problem or develop a hypothesis. Here, formulative study is also known as exploratory or explorative research. Here in this option C is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 52. Group action towards the negotiation. What is the group action towards the negotiation? We will see here options. Option A, neglecting. Option B, bargaining. Option C, receiving. Option D, understanding. What is meant by negotiation? Negotiation is a strategic discussion between two parties to resolve an issue in a way that both find acceptable. The process of discussing something with someone in order to reach an agreement or the discussion of themselves. This is called as negotiation. Negotiation and bargaining are common terms for discussion aimed at reaching agreement in interdependent situations, that is, in situations where parties need each other in order to reach their goals. While both terms are often used interchangeably, so here negotiation means option B is the correct answer, bargaining. Bargaining is an agreement between two or more parties as to what each party will do for other, or thing brought other offered for a sale more cheaply usual or expected. This is called as negotiation or bargaining. Here we will see what is meant by bargain. Importance of negotiation cannot be overstated. Negotiation holds the key to getting ahead in the workplace, resolving conflicts and creating values in contracts. This is meaning for the bargaining. Here what is meant by receiving. Receiving means take or get something that given, paid or sent. This is called as receiving. What is meant by understanding? Understanding means mental grasp or comprehension. Power of comprehending, especially capacity of general relationship of particular persons. Understanding each other. This is called as understanding. What is meant by neglecting? Neglecting means a situation in which do not give enough care or attention to someone or something. The state of not receiving enough care or attention is called as neglecting. So here the group action towards negotiation means here option B, bargaining. Other name for the negotiation is called as bargaining. So here in this option B is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 53. Potentially measurable object of a component is called as. Potentially measurable object of component is called as. We will see here options. First option A, variable, option B, sampling, option C, cluster, option D, group. The measurable variable, as the name suggests, is the variable that measured in an experiment. It is the dependent variable which depends on changes to the independent variable. Here what is meant by? Here potentially measurable object of component is called as variable. Variable is a quantity that may be changed according to the mathematical problem. The variable with example means the variable is a characteristic that can be measured and that can assume different values. For example, height, age, income, country of birth. These all things example for the variables. A variables is characteristics of measured assume different values. A variable is a concept or abstract idea that can be described in measurable terms. In research, this is term refers to measurable characteristics, qualities, traits and attributes of particular individual, object or situation being studied. Here potentially measured object of a component is called as variable. So here in this option A is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 54. This question number 54 we already discussed in recent MHSRB mock test paper. All are the purposes of research except. Here in this option we will see first option A, problem solving, option B, finding facts, option C, social damage, option D, unreveals mysteries. Briefly we will see here the purposes of research to enhance society by advancing knowledge through the development of scientific theories, concepts and ideas, forming hypotheses, collecting data, analyzing results, forming conclusions, implementing findings into real life applications and forming new research questions. These all things related to the purposes of research. Here option C is the except. Directly I am saying here answer. Social damage is the except related to the purposes of research. Social damage means social damage is defined as the impairment, impact and loss of social welfare. The social damage is damage suffered by society as a whole because of corruption or bad use of public money or wrongdoing is called as social damage. Here the purposes of research except here means option D is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 55. Descriptive research is a. What is the descriptive research? We will see here options. Option A, experimental, option B, non-experimental, option C, methodological, option D, applied Research. Descriptive research aims to accurately and systematically describe a population, situation, or phenomenon. Descriptive research aims to accurately and systematically describe population, situation, and phenomenon. Term descriptive research then refers to research question design of the study and data analysis conducted on that particular topic. We call it an observational research method because none of the research study variables are influenced in any capacity. The type of descriptive research or study. The descriptive studies can be several types, namely case reports, case series, cross-sectional studies, and ecological studies. In these first three of these, data are collected on individuals, whereas the last one uses aggregated data for groups. Descriptive research is often referred as hypothesis generating research. Depending on the data collection method used, descriptive studies can generate rich data sets on large and diverse samples. Research conducted for formulating a problem for more clear investigation is called as exploratory research. Research that explores and explains an individual, group, or situations is called as descriptive research. Descriptive research is also called as non-experimental research, is usually descriptive or correlational research also, which means that are either describing situation or phenomenon. Simply it stands describing a relationship between two or more variables without any interference from the researcher. Next we will move on to question number 56. For controlling the quality of nursing care is essential for which of the following? For controlling the quality of nursing care is essential for the which of the following? Here you will see options. Option A training, option B audit, option C nursing audit, option D case method. To improve quality of nursing care, it is necessary that people become knowledgeable and assert their rights to quality care. This can be achieved through the continuous educational program. The quality planning and control are about meeting standards and being confident in the quality of care. There are many ways nurses and midwives can get a level of assurance in the quality of their care, measuring and controlling for quality as well as undertaking the after action reviews. So here for controlling the quality of nursing care is essential for the nursing audit. Nursing audit is the process of analyzing data about the nursing process of patient outcomes to evaluate the effectiveness of nursing interventions. The audits most frequently used in quality control include outcome, process, and structure audits. The nursing audit is a way of ensuring quality of nursing care. Nursing audit is a detailed review and evaluation of the selected clinical records by qualified professional personnel to identify, examine, or verify the performance of certain specified aspects of nursing care by using the establishing criteria. So here in these options, option C is the correct answer. For controlling the quality of nursing care is essential for the nursing audit. Option C is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 57. Problem solving method involves which of the following? Problem solving method is involves which of the following? We will see here options. First option A division of work, option B responsibility, option C decision, option D problem. The problem solving involves identifying an issue, finding causes, asking questions, and brainstorming solutions. Gathering facts helps make the solutions more obvious. Decision making is the process choosing a solution based on the judgment, situation, facts, knowledge, or combination of available data. Problem solving method is having 7 steps. First one, identify the decision that needs to be made. Option Step 2, gather relevant information. Step 3, identify alternative solution. Step 4, weigh the evidence. Step 5, choose among the alternatives. Step 6, take action. Step 7, review your decision and its impact, both good and bad. The problem solving method is having major denominator mathematical problem solving and personal problem solving. Both are seen in the terms of some difficulty or barrier that is encountered. Problem solving method is involves decision making. Decision making is a process of identifying and evaluating choices. We make numerous decisions every day and our decision may range from routine and everyday. Here problem solving method is involved in the option C. Decision is the correct answer. What is meant by problem solving? Problem solving is the process of defining a problem, identifying its roots, cause, prioritizing and selecting potential solutions and implementing the chosen solution. So here in this option C is the correct answer, decision making. Next we will move on to question number 58. Span of control is also known as a span of. Span of control is also known as span of which of the following? We will see here options. Option A responsibility, option B supervision, option C teaching, option D decentralization. Span of control is also known as span of management, is a term used in business management, particularly human resource management HR. The term referred to the number of subordinates or direct reports a supervisor is responsible for. Span of control refers to the number of subordinates that can be managed effectively and efficiently by supervisors or managers in the organization. Typically, it is either narrow or wide, resulting in a flatter or more hierarchical organizational structure. We are having two types of span of control. Those are wide span of control and narrow span of control. The wide span of control means manager can supervise and control effectively a large number of persons at the time. The span of control is also known as span of management, refers to the number of subordinates that manager can control and manage. Here the span of control is developed by United Kingdom in the 1922 by Sir Land Hamilton. Developed by Sir Land Hamilton in the year of 1922. The span of supervision is also known as span of control. It is refers to number of subordinates manager can effectively manage. If number of subordinates placed under the manager is small, he can control the subordinates effectively. Here span of control is also known as span of supervision. Here option B is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 59. HMD stands for, what is meant by HMD? We will see here options. Option A health manpower development, option B health maintenance development, option C human motivation development, option D none of the above. HMD means health manpower development. Health manpower refers to people who are trained to promote health, to prevent and cure disease and rehabilitation in the sick. The aim of manpower planning is to make available the right kind of personnel in the right number with appropriate skill at the right place at right time doing the right job. So here in these options, option A HMD stands for health manpower development is the correct answer. Every hospital has to do manpower planning for the following reasons: shortage of certain categories of employees, advancement of medical science and technology resulting in need for new skills and new design and structure, and technology resulting in need for new skills and new categories of employee. Changes in organization design and structure affected in the manpower. The three main elements of health power development process are planning, production and management of health manpower. Here the problems of health manpower development are related to the planning, production and management based on specific priorities of health policy. Here in this option A is the correct answer. HMD stands for Health Manpower Development. Here option A is the correct answer. Next we will move on to question number 60. The 60th question is the last question in this part 2 today's class. Next further question from the 61 to further question we will discuss part 3. The ward sisters in a hospital belongs to. Sorry for the interruption once again. Please give a like while watching the video. The content is useful to anyone. Please give a like. Your likes are boost to me. Please encourage me. Please support me. The ward sisters in the hospital belongs to. We will see here option. Option A, first level management. Option B, low level management. Option C, middle level management. Option D, top level management. To provide highest quality nursing care for the patient in the ward management in hospital, to provide clean, well ventilated environment for patients, to protect him for infection, accidents and hazards, to help the staff in achieving highest degree of job satisfaction, to provide facilities to meet the needs of patient and their attendants. Healthcare management, there are 3 levels of management is present: top, middle and front line or primary. Together they are responsible for the work and performance of the health sector. These managers have formal authority to use health sector's resources and to make questions appropriate to their levels. The top level manager in the hospital will come CEO, Chief Executive Officer, is the highest level management position in the hospital or hospital system. Ward sisters is the first level supervisors and team leader of the unit. She is directly accountable to the nursing superintendent through the deputy nursing superintendent for ward management and patient care. Sisters and charge nurses are responsible for the overall running of each ward or unit and for the standards of nursing care. The middle level management play a pivotal role in facilitating high quality care, may play a brokerage role in the sharing and usage of knowledge in the healthcare organization. The middle managers are managers at the mid level of organization supervised by senior manager and who in turn supervise frontline clinics. Here the ward sisters in a hospital belongs to the first level of management. Here option A is the correct answer. 60th question is the last question in this part 2 related to the nursing research and education. This is part 2. We discussed in today's class 30 questions. From the 31 to 60 question we discussed in part 2. Previously we discussed in part 1. I will give a link in description. Question number 1 to 30 question we discussed in part 1. So here anybody not seen this part 1 related to the nursing research and education, I will give a link in description. Please check it once here. Thank you so much for watching the video and please give a like while watching the video. It is very useful content only. Please, it is useful to anyone. Please give a like here. Anybody here new to this channel, please subscribe my channel, click on the bell icon for further notification and please share your opinion in comment section. Give a like and share the video to your friends. Thank you so much. Keep watching. Stay tuned. Thank you.